Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. As many of you may know, within the last few hours, the American Israelis have attacked the Medes, and the arrows are flying, and many people may be afraid. Some are concerned, and rightfully so on both accounts. So today on this segment, I won't be pulling out the book on this segment. I'm simply going to cover a few reference points that the children of Israel must take to heart, and the stranger that is of a contrite spirit, that you may not be afraid during these times. You should be concerned because the things that are taking place will have a direct effect upon each and every one of us, irregardless of the nation in which we dwell. We are housed in these nations, many of us, and we don't have the escape routes and the means by which to flee like many others of the nations. So, this is a specific message to the children of Israel, and as always, to the stranger that is of a contrite spirit. Brace yourselves, tighten up your jaws, do not turn to the left or to the right, or you will get hit in the mouth. We are to walk the straight and narrow way of the Most High's commandments. We're not to deviate to the right hand and or to the left. We are to walk the straight and narrow way. I would like to title this segment today, Hard Times. The arrows are flying. Hard times. The arrows are flying. Now, we have discussed in the last few videos within the last year, I've done the video, It's a Time for War. That way, those who are at the channel that does follow the channel were to be aware that this time of war is coming. And that way we know exactly what will take place. I've read to you the books of Jeremiah. That way you understand clearly exactly what is getting ready to transpire and to whom, that you may be prepared. The whole objective here is to make sure that you're not caught off guard, unawares, that you may have the excuse of saying, well, I didn't know. If you sought to know, the Most High made sure that you knew. Now, you taking that information and applying it, that's a matter altogether different. So some people may have the knowledge, applying that knowledge, therefore, is wisdom. Some people have knowledge all day long, know that a cigarette will kill them, and they'll smoke for the rest of their lives until it kills them. So applying the knowledge acquired is where the wisdom is implemented. All right, let's discuss the Medes. The last time we know certainly that the Medes had decided to go it alone. The Most High did state that they would have other kings of the earth that will join with them. We see clearly where that joining has already transpired, i.e., assistance with the weaponry, assistance with the defensive weaponry as well as the offensive weaponry. And we see clearly now where the Medes are indeed letting it loose. And many people are shocked by this response. Why? Because they've never encountered such an adversary before. And they're feeling as though their ships may be out of reach. Keep in mind, the Most High said that they have striven against him. So therefore, there's no way the Most High is going to say that this nation has striven against him and he would set a trap for it. There's no way he's going to set a trap for you and you're going to have your ships and your men outside that trap. Secondly, no amount of weaponry will free this nation from the trap that's been set for it. So now a few things will be made plain as this comes about. Number one, no one can deliver out of the hands of the Most High. So we're going to see clearly if JC can deliver these men and this place from what's coming to it. So the Most High is going to slay a few birds with one stone to where we're going to know clearly whose word is going to stand and who to follow and who not to follow. So these things are going to be made plain. We will also see many of the other nations who will join with those Medes. Some will be a surprise, some will not be a surprise. It's an amazing thing about a bully. Bully don't have any friends. There are people who may join themselves to the bully in order to save their own skin. But should the bully stumble and fall just one time, those that marched with him will step on his face. And that's possibly what's to come. So the Medes have backup. They're not alone. Most importantly, it's the Most High that's strengthening them. So if the Most High is going to bring the Medes against you, that means one thing. If you're following this book, you won't beat the Medes. You won't beat the Iranians because it's the Most High that's bringing them against you because you have striven against him. So let's get that out of the way. So we already know exactly how this is going to go. Now, we see clearly what has transpired. The Most High was going to shine the light on these nations, the individuals that run them, and all the machinations of these nations. In other words, their wickedness. It would be stripped bare, stripped naked for all to see. That way, those that are within these nations and those that are afar off can see clearly this is wickedness. This is the part where everyone has an opportunity to decide and to make a decision. Will I side with wickedness or will I side with righteousness? Now, keep in mind, many people who have not heard of the law, have never followed not one of them, they are so confused. They are not clear what righteousness is and what wickedness is. They don't know the difference between the two. So you will hear some of them when they speak, they come across as though they have a bit of righteousness in them, and then they contradict themselves. So they will say, you know what, this such and such a nation is done all this harm, it's done all this foul, all these bad behaviors, killed all of these people, done all these different foul things, but I don't want to see them destroyed. There's no way you're going to have a person that's a murderer, a rapist, a liar, and everything else that's just foul, that's worthy of death. And then you say, you know what? This is a bad person. This is a murderer. This is a rapist. This is a killer or whatever he is. But I don't want to see him die when the things that this person has done deserves the death penalty or deserve that punishment, the removal from off the planet. So many people are seeing some wickedness, seeing the wickedness, will identify it to be wickedness, but they don't want to see the wicked punished. Now, it doesn't work that way because the Most High made it plain that he will turn his face against that man and his house that will turn a blind eye to wickedness and the enforcement of the judgment thereof. So everyone is screaming, oh, yeah, that's wicked, that's bad, they're doing this, they're doing that, but I don't want to see them destroyed. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So now this is the point, we're at the point now to where men will have to start enforcing righteous judgment. The reason why the house of Israel has gone astray and the Most High is not in the midst of us because he cannot be in the midst of a people that are full of wickedness in any way. He is holy. So if you're going to be around him or he be around you, and he did say he will dwell in the midst of the house of Israel forever on the earth, this means we're going to have to be all the way holy because he can't be in the presence of us. So when our men decide, you know what, this person right here has committed a crime, i.e., a sin that's worthy of death, that's the that's the penalty, and we decide, you know what, I don't want to I don't want to kill him. That's my favorite cousin, or I don't want to kill him. That's my homeboy's son, or whatever the case may be. And we start turning a blind eye to judgment. That's when wickedness multiplies, and this is what we're seeing, where no one wants to stand up and punish wickedness. They don't want to see wickedness punished, but they want to stand from afar and say, you know what, that's wicked, but I don't want to see anything done to the wicked man. And it will not be so. The wicked will be brought to justice and to judgment. Now, as it pertains to this nation, on two occasions, they have gone to make a deal. And I've discussed this with you before. You cannot get righteousness out of unrighteous people, and you cannot get justice out of just people. The Iranians have been around for a very long time. They are prudent men, and the Most High will make them even more so, for he is strengthening them. So you're not going to just beat them. So we see clearly the wickedness being stripped from the place. Its leaders' knowledge, wisdom, understanding has been removed. What we're seeing is nothing but a bunch of foolish behaviors. Many people within this nation and in other nations are baffled at the nonsensical behaviors of its leaders, the doublespeak, the hypocrisy, and the blatant lie. There is no attempt by which to soften the blow of a lie, by which to shield it, by which to disguise it. No sleight of hand, just straight up in your face a lie. And that's because they have to come forth and show everyone exactly who and what they really are. It is the Most High Spirit that's upon them that's causing them to pretty much just show their face, show their hand. So we see clearly what has led up to this. Unrighteous men behaving in unrighteous ways cannot be trusted. Their word is worth spit. And therefore, once you deal unrighteously with others, then certainly others will deal unrighteously with you, and your ways will be turned upon your own head. So the injustice, the unrighteousness, and the absolute wickedness of this place and those who join themselves unto it is being offered up for the whole world to see. They're being stripped naked. And when this happens, everyone has that decision to make. Will I choose righteousness or will I choose wickedness? And the wicked man will be punished. You will not go unpunished in this scenario. This is where the Most High is going to pour out judgment upon the wicked. So everyone needs to be prepared and to be aware of exactly where they stand in this. No one is going unpunished at all. So we're saying once again the injustices of the place, and because of its injustice, its duplicity, and its wickedness is why the judgment is being brought upon it. And there's no way, no how that the Most High sets a snare for it, and any amount of weaponry or any allegiance with any other nation will free it from the judgment that the Most High has already proclaimed against it. Let's speak of the bread of this nation, because many of the house of Israel actually we live here. I've told you many videos ago that we will certainly see when the Most High brings his judgment against this place and those who rock with it. We will see if the very God that they serve delivers them. The Most High has made it plain that none can deliver from his hand. We will see if JC delivers this place from what's coming to it. And when it doesn't, then we will certainly understand as the children of Israel on why it has never delivered us out of our plight. Now, as the Most High strips the bread from this place, we were instructed clearly that since we did not want to serve the Most High in righteousness and in truth, we were sent into the midst of the wicked. So we should not be shocked that we're seeing wickedness all around us, because that's who we were sent in the midst thereof. Because we chose and we wanted to be like other people. So here we are, being as wicked as we want to be in the midst of the wicked. But their wickedness is beyond our stomach tolerance. We can't take it. And so what we will see clearly is that once the bread is stripped and we cannot rely upon our enemies for the want of bread because he doesn't have any by which to toss us the crumbs, now we're going to see exactly where our allegiance lies, because we're going to have to try to find that bread someplace else. It won't be available. Robbing and stealing won't do it. You can't stick anyone up and get some bread. He doesn't have any. This is when the Most High provides for those who are within his covenant, those who are walking within the confines of his law. When everyone else is lacking, you won't be lacking. So this is the part where you have to turn by which to save yourself and your house. So the stripping of the bread is taking place. We're seeing where hours are being cut at jobs. That's if you still have a job, if you haven't already lost your job. Taxes on homes are being increased. Many people have bought homes overpaid and now they're upside down. Many houses, the taxes have gone up, the insurance has gone up, so much so that the homeowners are unable to pay, and thus the house goes into foreclosure, and in some cases they may go into bankruptcy. Credit cards are maxed out, vehicles are being repossessed. If you haven't lost your job or lost hours on your job, you're paying close attention to what's going on in that specific sector of business because times are hard. And now we have the arrows flying. So the ability to provide for your family and keep a roof over your head, as we all are aware that what we're seeing now is an increase on Skid Row. One of the fastest growing demographic is the elderly because they're on a fixed income. So they're not able to keep up with inflation as these prices go sky high. Many of you who may be receiving a pension may find that pension cut. You may find that you may no longer get what you used to get. And as these arrows are flying, we will see exactly what the stock market does come Monday morning, what the oil prices does come Monday morning. You may find your 401k upside down and sideways by the end of the week. The bond market, should that implode, all of a sudden, those who were getting ready to retire, your money may be cut in half or worse. So therefore now you can't retire. You must actually extend that time frame. If you're 50 plus and you lose a job, chances are no one's hiring you. Many people are well qualified with degrees, etc. There was a time where you could lose a job and go find one next week or find one the next day. Those days are no longer here. So this is the clamp that's being placed down upon this nation, and it will cause internal strife. It will cause fear. It will cause dissent. It will certainly cause violence. And when this zoo erupts, the only hiding place that you will have is the Most High's laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts. So, as the Most High strips this man of his bread, and he does not have any crumbs to throw to you, your only saving grace is the Most High. That's who it has always been until the house of Israel decided to choose wickedness, and thus we were scattered into the midst of wicked people. So have no fear, O children of Israel, and those of you who are of the nations, you should also have no fear. Turn to the Most High with your whole heart and your whole soul, and he will deliver you in this time of trouble, and more so that is to come. All right. What should you do? I've just discussed that. Seek ye the book of Yah and read. Now, many people who have heard this word, gaffed it off, as we would say in the Marine Corps, you gaffing it off. You're not paying attention to it. You have heard it. There's a difference between hearing a thing and listening. Big difference. So I hope that you're hearing this word, and I hope that you're also listening to this word, that you may implement it, that you may go back and read. Many of these men in this nation, big muscles, you always have some man that's always talking loud and out of turn. You can find one of those just about everywhere. Now, when this fear grips and there's no job and there's no means by which to feed yourselves, maybe your family, violence in the streets, turmoil of war, etc., etc., men become afraid because everyone is going to understand that what's transpiring is beyond the scope of just a man. The whole earth will know that it's the Most High doing every last bit of this. And those of you who may not have believed in the Most High, those of you who may have mocked the words of the Most High, you will be so terrified you will be bound to that book. You will go into it and you will read and you will try to seek an answer because nothing else around you is going to make any sense. But like I've always said before, the Most High is the highest level of intelligence. If He can't make sense, no one or nothing else can. So when you go into that book and you read it, you will see everything makes perfect sense when you're looking through the lens of the Most High, i.e., His laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts. So if you're not in this book, if you see these hard times beginning to approach. Then what you know, the question is, I was discussing with a gentleman a few days ago, and he wanted to know exactly, well, what do I do? I said, what you do is very simple. You turn back to the laws. I said, you've never read that book, but it's going to get so bad to where you're going to be forced to read it if you intend to save yourself and possibly your house. So what should you do? Return unto the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts. Seek ye the book of Yah and read. We've already discussed all the different things that's going on economically. We're dealing with right now just the military aspect. Now we look at the financial aspects, the bond market collapse, etc., stock market crash, banks go under. We have nations that's no longer buying the treasury bonds, not buying the notes. Okay, so therefore the nation can't fund its bills. You can't fund your bills, you can't go to war. Okay, you can't build the weaponry. And it's very difficult for you to talk noise to your creditors. And this is the audacity of this place. You owe the Chinese man all types of money. You try to talk noise to him. It doesn't work that way. And that includes some of these Arab states and some of these Asian nations. You can't owe a man money and try to bully him. I mean, he actually controls your movements. If you need a loan, that's the man you're going to. When you need to put your bonds up for auction to sell them, you're hoping that he buys it. You can't disrespect him and bomb him and sanction him and do all these other things. How long do you expect that to last? So many people have been accustomed to wickedness. They've been accustomed to seeing wickedness flourish, kicking down doors, busting heads, no repercussions. At least so they thought. And now the Most High is about to render judgment on the wicked. And so now many people are shocked to see that someone is standing up against the wicked. And once that one person stands up, it's amazing how brave everyone else gets. So as the Medes stand up, watch others stand with them. And it's one thing about a bully. When someone stands up to him, he loses his edge. The fear factor is gone. And so now all of his weaknesses are exposed. And not only are they exposed, but they will be exploited. Yah will make himself known unto his people. With what's getting ready to transpire, there's a few things that needs to be answered. Who are the people of the Most High? I've told you in times past in some videos that the $1,000,000 question, when all of this is said and done, you have these Israelis saying that they're the people of God. Now, when they run out of that land, you've got the Christian evangelicals, Europeans of all many different factions all around the earth who have funded them and weaponized them. These are what you would call high class beggars. Now, the Most High made it plain that the house of Israel, the true house of Israel, will have no might in their hand. Period. In other words, we don't have the ability to buy governments or buy government officials and build weaponry. We will be absolutely stripped and powerless. This is not the case of these people, but they have said that they are the people of God. God's going to make this known who his people are. And once they ran out, then everyone's going to have to ask themselves, well, if that's not the people of God, then who is? Who are the children of Israel? That's going to be made plain. Where is the land of Israel? That's going to be made plain. Are Israelis God's chosen? That's going to be made plain. Are the Christian evangelicals, are they right? Will JC deliver the European Christian in the time of their judgment? All of these things are going to be made plain. Every last one of them, with what we're getting ready to see transpire. Certainly, the book is lining up. I'm seeing where everything is falling into place. There may be some people that may have their doubts. As for me, I am convinced that this is the way to go, that these things are right, and we are seeing the fulfillment of prophecy. Now, if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't want to be right and not have told you exactly what I'm able to see, that you may be prepared. That way you can say, you know all of this and you didn't tell me. So this is where the information sharing comes in, but it's upon you to do your due diligence to get in the book and to read and do as you read and to study and to share with others that they may make a conscious decision on exactly which way they will walk. Now, let the record show. It's amazing about this YouTube and all these other medium of communication is that many men have been on this internet teaching the words of the Most High. Some are calling him all types of different names. Some are saying that God is a female energy. You've got a bunch of madness on here. You've got men that are teaching it in righteousness and in truth. Myself, I'm not coming before you begging. You understand? You know, some people you get to their page, they've got 6 or 7 links by which to get some money out of you. The man of Israel that's going to come in righteousness and in truth is not trying to find any money out of you. If it's being done correctly, the Most High will provide and make sure that all your needs are met. You don't need to get money out of the people. They're already the poorest of the lot. That's in spirit and financially. So there's no need to fleece the people by which to get a come up. The Most High will bless you and make sure that your needs are met. And this is something that the people need to understand. That way, in the time of trouble, people are going to start to panic. In other words, you need to when 5 jokers come before you and start talking about this book, you need to know exactly which one is speaking the truth, i.e., the word of the Most High, and who is not, because then you'll be duped. And one way to ensure that you're not duped is that you go read that book, study that book. I don't think there's as much time as we've had. I've been doing these lessons for a very long time, back when my beard was still black. So, the time is coming now. Okay, so we don't have that much time. However, the record will show, because the questions are going to be asked, there are timestamps on all of these videos. Which of these men brought forth this word to you in XYZ manner? And the Most High is going to make it plain to the earth who his people are. And then he's going to make it plain to his people exactly which men of the earth that has been teaching are teaching in accordance with his law. That has to be made plain also, because you have many men out here. Like I said, once again, you go to their page, there's 7, 8, or 9, or 10 links by which to send them some money. These are professional beggars. So be mindful of that. This is why it's important that you do your due diligence. And so the time is going to come when all is said and done, and these prophecies begin to unfold, and the fear takes a hold of the inhabitants of the earth. And everyone is going to want to know, well, these things have transpired. What group of people, what group of men, who brought forth this word of all these things that we are seeing right now? And there will only be about one group of men that has brought this forth in the manner in which it's going to transpire, and that's going to be the house of Israel, because it's the house of Israel that the Most High has shown his laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts. And all that we are doing, we're repeating what the prophets have already told us. The Most High has just given us the understanding by which to interpret it and bring it to you. But we're not bringing anything on our own accord. We're not bringing anything new, because the Most High made it plain. He changes not. And I've told you before, the truth doesn't change, period. It holds 3 facets of time: past, present, future. And the Most High is the truth, and He is righteousness. He changes not. The truth doesn't get old, the truth doesn't get new, and the truth doesn't get different. There could be no such thing as a New Testament. It denotes new truth. We're to be mindful of that. So we will see clearly when the record shows, hey, let's go back and see exactly which men have brought forth this word. And then you're going to know exactly who the Most High is working with and who He's working through. Israel, children of Israel in the many lands of our captivity. We're speaking all manner of languages: French, Spanish, English, Dutch, etc., etc. We've been scattered to the four corners of the earth. You are to be ready. You are to be ready. Keep in mind that go back a few years ago to wage war, it takes 6 months to get the men ready to stage before you actually launch. Nowadays, the war is at your doorstep in 30 minutes by way of a drone, by way of an arrow. As the Most High has told the nations, make ready the arrows. An arrow is nothing but a modern day missile, much more dangerous, covers distance a whole lot faster, lethal. So we don't have 6 months to get ready for anything. The word comes by which we are to leave these nations. We're to have no second guessing in that. You are to be ready to go. So the children of Israel, and to the stranger that is of a contrite spirit that will cleave to the house of Israel, be ready to go. Because these missiles don't take but 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on where you're at. So we don't have this 6 month waiting time frame, should it be to where the Most High has made it plain that we are to evacuate these nations. And He will let us know exactly when that is to be done and how it's to be done. And it's our enemies that's going to take us out of here, too. So be mindful of that. Be ready. And when I say be ready, I mean be ready to leave this behind. Some of you are cleaving to this. Okay, hey, I got this job, I got this house, I've got this business, I have this and I have that. There's no need for you to hold on to something that will not be. So keep in mind of that. As I've spoken about the reparations thing in times past. There's no need to give you any reparation in dollars. That's not the currency of the Most High. Your reparations are going to be the gold, the diamonds, and all the precious metals that your enemy stole from you. You can't spend dollars when we get back in the Most High's land. He's in the midst of us. That won't even exist. So be ready to let go of the ways of the heathen and the things that we have acquired in the lands of the heathen. In other words, be ready mentally by which to divorce yourself from this when the time comes. Don't be that one looking back or thinking that, you know what, maybe it's not that bad if I stay, or whatever the case may be. When that word does go out for us to leave these lands pure, because we are in the four corners of the earth. And this goes out to the stranger too. I've already covered that. Stranger, you are to be ready as well. Now, the great separation and the great divide. I've done a video pertaining to that. This is worldwide. We have seen it now taking place within America. We're seeing all the different peoples pull towards themselves. As we begin to compete more and more for resources, that's becoming more and more scarce within the land. Jobs are harder to find. Folks who had the high jobs now have to be thankful to bust tables for $15 an hour. The corporations are not willing to pay you that top dollar anymore because they can get someone else that's half your age with no experience at all and have them do your job, and they would prefer that to be so. In some cases, AI is actually replacing some of these high priced jobs. So things are changing drastically. And so, therefore, the competing for resources look for drug abuse, suicides, you know, random shootings and everything else. It just, people are under stress, they're under duress. But this is part of the Most High's judgment. But once again, everyone is going to start separating to their own people. That's number one. They're going to pull to their own people. And once they do that, the next step within those specific groups of people is going to be to weed out the unrighteous and punish them. Because right now, as this great separation and great divide takes place worldwide, the people of the earth are crying on to the Most High for righteousness. I don't care who you are, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, 5%er, I don't care what you are, Israelite, non believer. People are tired of the wickedness. They're tired of it. And many of the people that were participating in the wickedness, they didn't mind it when they were allowed to prosper. But now the rug is being snatched out from under them too. And so now they want to holler. But when it was benefiting them, they saw no problems with it. When others were, we especially, when we were complaining that this thing is unjust, those who were in a privileged position had nothing to say. But now they find themselves standing alongside us, in some cases beneath us. And all of a sudden, there's a problem. But it was told to them that there was a problem long before they fell down into the trap, and they paid it no mind at that time. Now, we will see things that we would not have believed. Hence, we have to bear witness. So we will see all of these big military gatherings, etc., etc. None of your military might will prevail against the Most High if He has already ordained your destruction. So this is what we have to understand. And many of our people have placed our trust in our enemies, have placed our trust. Well, I've told you before, our enemies don't have no belief in God. Our enemies trust in their guns. Praying is something they leave up to us. If we're being dealt in an unjust and an unfair manner, we are to go in the corner and pray and hope things get better. You deal this man a sleight of hand and deal with him in a manner that he doesn't see is right, he will have a gun in your face. If he doesn't come and do it right then in broad daylight, he'll come in the middle of the night. So guns are his way. He can rule no other way, for his way is unrighteous. If you're moving righteously, you don't have to go to bed with a gun and have these big armies. But you have to when you are ruling in wickedness. There is no choice. So, once again, we will see the things that we would not have believed. And this is going to let us know it's the Most High doing all of this, because your guns ain't going to help you. Hence, we are to bear witness because we're going to understand, and everyone else on the earth is going to understand that is a much higher power at work for why what's happening is happening. Yah has set a trap and a snare. No amount of weaponry will spring the wicked from that trap. So all your ways shall come upon your own head. All the many people that you have shot up, blown up, kidnapped, caused derision in the midst of the people, had one brother killing the other, funding one side and funding the other side by which to make money, and making them think that you are a neutral party. Duplicity, unrighteousness, wickedness, doing all the things that the Most High have said you have striven against him. And in spite of me saying all of this, there are people who are right here, right now, that would not want to see this place fall, knowing exactly of all the wickedness that has taken place, especially to us, here and everywhere else, and still don't want to see it fall. Well, we don't have a say in that. We don't have a say in that. The Most High have already said His peace, and what He says will stand, and none other. And this is what we're getting ready to see. We're getting ready to see exactly whose word is going to stand. Will this idol come deliver them in their time of trouble? This is where the proof is in the pudding. We shall see. Who's going to spring them from this trap? Who's going to deliver them? The Most High says none delivers from his hand. So JC ain't going to get it done. And this is going to be a sobering fact for many of our enemies because they have bombed and killed fathers, bombed and killed children, bombed and killed mothers, started these wars, etc., and have said to themselves, you know what? No one's going to do all this to me. Who sees me doing this? I'm not going to be a widow. I'm not going to be an orphan. None of these things can happen to me. And the Most High said, all of these things will happen to you. And the earth is going to see this thing. So get ready for what you're going to get ready to see, because your mind is not ready for what's getting ready to happen. It will be a horror show. The whole earth will be forced to read the law. The house of Israel will now be the topic going forward. All of these nations have done all they can to not actually address the issue of that man sitting in Jerusalem. They have not done that. Now, Tucker Carlson has brought some of this thing to bear, but he doesn't know what questions to ask. He doesn't know anything about that book. He may think he does, but at least we all know what's going on in the background. It has not been brought forth in the spotlight in the manner in which he has brought it forth. Hey, how do we know these are the people? And when he presented that question, what you got was a bunch of running around in circles. Because once again, when you start analyzing the facts, what makes sense, then you realize there's no way to, no way. If we go in this book and read it and what it states, who these people are, where they lived, what happened to them, you don't match any of these. It is clear. And so now, once you figure that out, what's the next move? So this is where we are as far as the house of Israel, the Most High. We're going to be given praise in these many nations. In other words, long before we get out of these nations, we're going to be acknowledged as the people of this book and the people of that land, and will be respected as such. So the ambassador said he trying to get his nation blessed by blessing Israel. I've told you before, when we speak of Israel, we need to speak about, we're talking about three things. We're either talking about Israel, the man, Israel, the land that was given to that man, or Israel, the people who are the children of that man, bloodline. When asked the question whether it was an ethnicity or a belief, this man is so ignorant. Huckabee, he said, it's both. Now, there's no way in the world that it can be both. That's why it is called the seed, the children of Israel. That's not metaphoric. That's exactly what that means. The seed of Israel, his children. The house of Israel, all the people that comes out of the house of that man. So they're beginning to get it. And the Most High is going to expose them. We're seeing this more and more. So going forward, the topic will be about the house of Israel, will be about the children of Israel, and you will see that book come more and more front and center, and more people are going to be reading that book because they are going to be terrified when they hear these words. Terror is about to come upon the nations of the earth, all courtesy of the Most High. Satan's not doing this. So when you see these bombs hitting folks, blowing them up, military and otherwise, there's no Satan doing this. Most High does it all. He kills and he makes alive. Period. So this Satan nonsense, all that is going to get settled too. So all of this is going to be made plain. Now we will see if their idol will deliver them in their time of trouble. When the money is upside down, when the wars are all over the place, there will be so much trouble for this nation that it won't know which way to turn, and there will be no remedy in fixing any of it. Broken beyond repair. So we will see exactly whose words will stand. The Most High and the men of Israel that has brought you this word, or that pastor you don't know for the last 30 years have been taking your money in the church, telling you that that's the house of God, telling you that that altar he goes up to is the altar of God, and that he's a man of God and all of that. We're going to see. But you're hearing this word because you've been blessed to hear it. And chances are you're going to share it with someone that's going to make a difference because people are going to be afraid. And if there's one thing that this word will do, the Most High will bring comfort to the afflicted because these words will soothe you. They will. And they will certainly protect you if you're to obey them. Now, if you hear them and forbear, scoff, buck, disregard, then you pay the ultimate price for that. And no one can deliver you but you. So be mindful of that. So the arrows are flying. The Most High said that they would, and the nations have made the arrows. Now keep in mind now, the arrows are not flying this way just yet. But Big Brother has not gotten into they have not gotten into the fight just yet. China and China and the oh yeah, the Chinese and the Russians, they're just right now just helping out with the weaponry. They have not actually jumped boots in there just yet. So others are coming to this thing. It will not just be the Medes. I feel for our sons. I feel for our sons who are caught up in this mess that don't know any better. I was once a young Marine. I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. I wanted to represent my country. I wanted to be a Marine. I wanted to be an infantry Marine, and I was that, and I loved it. And picked up guns, and they had no problems with it. But then I got older and understand exactly what took place. I remember when they were actually giving us that briefing. You go in the Marine Corps, they kind of give you the Marine Corps history. And I remember we were getting this briefing about what took place in Lebanon. I was young, about the blowing up of the Marine barracks. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what are we waiting on? Let's go get them, right? This is a young man's thinking now. But the question as you become wiser and the Most High allows you to see how your enemies move, their patterns don't change. So when you hear that this place has done something to a nation, your first and your next question should be, what did this place do to that nation? You hear Pearl Harbor. Well, what caused these people to do that? You hear about what happened with the Marine base. When I heard that, I was young. I was not equipped to think, well, why would they just blow up some Marines in a barracks? Would they do that for absolutely no reason? And when you start looking for, okay, well, what did you do to cause these people to do this? Then it's like, now I got you. And so, if anyone knows, we should know because they may hang us, spit on us, beat us up, lock us up, kill us. When we respond, especially if we respond in a manner that they don't want, then we are a terrorist too. We're a terrorist, we're this, we're that. And that's what the headline leads with. But no one ever asked, what did you do to this man? What did you do to these people to cause them to respond in this manner? And once you do that, you begin to see the unrighteousness of this man and his ways. And keep in mind, an unrighteous man don't make no change like that. He stays unrighteous. That's how he's going to move. So therefore, he's moving out of the same playbook. Easy to see, easy to spot. But you can't spot that unrighteous man if you're moving in unrighteousness because you and him are one and the same. So therefore, you're not able to separate yourself from him. So turn to the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts with your heart and your whole soul. Teach it to your children. Let them know what's going on. Share it with your family members because times are getting hard. Families are forced to live together, and we need more of that. Too many of us are thinking that we can do it on our own, and so we need some more togetherness, and that way we can appreciate each other, appreciate the time, and actually have our hearts turned back onto each other. But before that happens, we must first turn our hearts back onto the Most High. So be mindful of all the things that you see and hear. Your goal is to maintain in that law. For those of you who have been there, we're still at 1,008 people. No one knew because I know certainly what they're doing with this channel to where the word is not getting out like that. But we don't do this for money. I don't do this for money. The people that need to hear this message, they have heard it 3, 4, and 5 times. So it's reaching exactly who it needs to reach. The Most High will see to that. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Continue to walk in the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts. Stay abreast. There's no need for me to come on here every week or every weekend. The goal is to make the message timely. There's over 200 videos here, and you have that book every day that you can read. Read that book, walk in the Most High's law, stay in it. I believe, I personally feel that we will see and reap the benefits thereof. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. And peace to the stranger that will take a hold of the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts, and do them. Do not let the stranger say that the Most High has totally separated himself from his people. So let the stranger not be discouraged. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Arrows are flying.